I would like to welcome Saurabh here, who is going to host a fireside chat with Mr. Om Malviya. Woo! Come on, guys! Om, I welcome you on stage.
I just want to say to all of those who are sitting here, thanks for being patient. It will all be over very soon. You'll be able to, eat something, grab a beer, talk with people, make some connections, right? So, yeah.
Thank you so much. So first of all, the purpose of this fireside chat was there's a lot has happened in past 1 year in the community. Especially, I think we got connected. Tezos India, we've been following closely. So I have a couple of questions. But before that, it's really a special day for all of us. We finally get to meet in person with this vibrant community. And that too for this magnificent launch of an exclusive course that we have curated. And we're just going to ask for more. I really want to thank you once again, as Om said, who've been sticking here. So without further ado, I'll just quickly introduce you all to Mr. Om Malviya, President, Tezos India Foundation. Now, let's start with the questions. I'll go with the first question where basically Tezos is no stranger for all of us sitting in the room. But if we want to simplify it as put in a couple of sentences, how will you define that? Tezos.
Okay. So, in the simple words, in a short and sweet, Tezos is a blockchain, right? Its native cryptocurrency is called Tez. It's a smart contract platform, but it is different from all the other chains in a way that it has four unique things that it offers, right? First of all, Tezos was one of the first blockchain to pioneer proof of stake. There has been discussions of proof of stake for so long. But Tezos was the one to actually build and deliver a working product on mainnet with having a proof of stake that works without compromising the centralization, right? And second is, Tezos is a very unique piece of software, right? So if you are a software developer, you're going to love this thing that Tezos has something called self-amendment, right? And that is enabled via on-chain governance. Now, we talked a lot about governance like DAOs, but DAOs are essentially smart contracts. So you do governance using smart contract. That is a one different thing. And then you have other way of doing governance, which is basically when you want to upgrade a chain. Let's say I want to upgrade Bitcoin now. The Taproot upgrade that recently happened. I want to upgrade Ethereum in one way. But these chains, they work in a way that the governance process is off-chain. Like people sit in rooms, they talk about stuff. Right, there are some different set of people in, let's say, China, different set of people in India who don't agree with those rules, right? And that's why it takes so much of time to come to consensus and upgrade a chain, right? Which is removed in Tezos by on-chain governance, and it primarily removes the problem of hard fork. So you don't have to hard fork so that your chain gets split and you have two NFTs suddenly on two different chains. But using a formal process, you can vote and test out the chain, and you can find more info about in the blockchain school course. The chain gets upgraded overnight, right? And since 2018, Tezos has upgraded 8 times with optimizing gas more and more, decreasing the block times more and more, and every 3 months there is new upgrades. So if you look at the speed of innovation, that is astonishing in the way Tezos enables it.
Wonderful. I remember this conversation because obviously while creating this course, the entire support was being given from Om as well. We had a couple of discussions calls. So thank you so much for simplifying it for all of us. As we have a lot of Indian builders in the audience, I'm sure that they would love to hear about the journey of Tezos so far, with special focus on Tezos India as a community.
So Tezos, the idea was first proposed by Arthur Brightman and Kathleen Brightman, both are the co-founders of the Tezos project. The idea was first proposed in 2014. It was the same time when Ethereum was, the prototype Ethereum was first launched, right? At that point of time, they saw the problems that Bitcoin and Ethereum already had, and they are going to have in the future, and proposed the idea of Tezos, right? Since then, mainnet went live in 2018, and Tezos India has been live and working in India since early 2020, right? And our goal is basically to empower and further boost the crypto ecosystem overall, and then also provide education, training for the young developers and all the developers basically in India who wants to make their switch to a Web3 career, right? We provide them education, courses, and partner with all the other startups to basically onboard them onto Tezos, right? And then the second thing is also ecosystem development, where we partner with startups, corporates, governments, these kind of small startups, large scale startups or large scale companies, and we help them navigate through Tezos. And we help them understand the value proposition of the Tezos protocol that it is going to offer them to build the solution on top of it, right? And I'm glad to share that we already have 15 plus projects from India built on Tezos, and there's two institutions, a team from IIT Madras, a team from IIT Hyderabad, who are contributing to the research protocol itself, and then some really amazing projects which have came from India, like for example Kalamindayo came from India and is one of the top 20 or top 10 NFT platform in the world, right? So, and then we also, on the Tezos India side, then we run unique programs like Tezos India Fellowship, which is positioned itself among all the young developers as an exclusive program, right? When the first time we organized Tezos India Fellowship, which is basically Tezos India Fellowship is a 2 months long program. We give you like $1,000 to $1,500 of stipend a month. We train you, basically get you started from the zero and get you to a level where you can deploy production grade applications, right? So some numbers about that. The recent edition, the second edition that we had gotten more than 4,500 plus applications from all across the country, and due to a limited capacity, we were only able to select 30 students, out of which all of them are building on top of Tezos and building some great things.
I was closely following the journey of fellowship especially, and we have few students in our boot camps who are part of the fellowship. So moving on to the third question, while pandemic was an absolute disruptor, in many ways our audience would want to understand how it was for the entire blockchain space and specifically Tezos ecosystem. I'm trying to understand the growth journey, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the pandemic and all, a lot of panelists also shared how a pandemic was not. I wouldn't say it was good, but it did brought some sort of positivity around the ecosystem, right? So it forced people to stay at home and forced them to learn about what is happening in the world, and try out different things like cryptocurrency, right? So for Tezos particularly, during the COVID, a lot of interest grew towards NFT ecosystem, right? So it was just there was a simple Brazilian guy who launched a website, which is hiketnung.xyz. It's Latin, which in English it means here and now, right? It was just a simple idea, and within 6 months, it was a 30,000 people plus community, totally decentralized, characters and creators from all around the globe, minting their NFT, and the art and the kind of NFTs or the art you see there is totally astonishing, right? And that happened. So Hackathon happened. Suddenly, people started finding Tezos their go-to blockchain to use. So contract calls, transactions, all the metrics started exploding, right? And the same goes for Tezos India as well. In Tezos India, we found a lot of people who wanted to learn about this, who wanted to learn how to start development on Tezos, and who wanted to bring their projects to Tezos, right? Who wanted to bridge to it, and the number has only grown so far since then. And yeah, so it impacted us in a good way, and I'm happy to see that we actually did 3 to 4 times more growth all across all the metrics in before the COVID, right? So it's 3 to 4 times growth than before since the COVID happened.
There's definitely you've seen an exponential growth over the past period of time. In fact, you were mentioning about HEN. We call it HEN. It was the case study chapter in the course that we've curated. A lot of people entering into the space are young and just starting out their professional journey. what do you have to say to them? Why should they go all Web3, or how does Tezos promote them?
I mean, this is the most exciting space right now across all the industries, right? This is if you are someone who wants to work on creative challenges, who wants to challenge, if you want to challenge yourself and put into problems and came out as a victor, that okay, I solved this problem, then Web3 is the place to go, in my opinion, because the entire space is totally redefining. It is the Web3 is redefining the way finance is done. Right, the traditional finance is somewhat has become decentralized finance. It is totally redefining the way art is done, basically through the NFTs. Right, and it is enabling creators to create their own small economies, creator economies. Right, for example. Recently, Mike Shinoda, who is the vocal artist of Linkin Park, he released this song as an NFT in a generative way on top of Tezos, right? So now his fans has this entire new way to be a part of Mike Shinoda ecosystem, which creates a sort of economy around Mike Shinoda, or let's say around Linkin Park, right? And that's the exciting that's happening. So I would say a lot of people say it's still, the train is left, the train is left. I would say it's still very early, all the development that is happening in DeFi, DAOs, NFTs, right? You should just get on the train because train isn't left yet, right? And yeah, I think if you start right now, it will be it is more likely that you'll be the OGs in the next coming year of the crypto, because it's going to take a lot of time till the entire ecosystem that people will use the Web3 products in their daily use cases, right? And secondly, how we promote Web3 on Tezos India side is, like organizing events like this, putting out blockchain course, giving educations, helping startups, corporates to understand Web3 and understand Tezos, right? And the goal is to not only just Tezos, but also to onboard more users to Web3, and then maybe let's talk to them Tezos if they are interested, right? So that's how we are doing it.
That's wonderful. And I think I'll be moving to the last question. But before that, this entire thing, like every single example that you have given, things are getting into the mainstream traction. And I think from here, we're definitely looking at a world where things are definitely scaling faster. Last question. I just need your closing remarks for the effort that Blockchain School has done, or the course that we've curated, because I think you were there in terms of doing the basically doing the review of what content we were trying to bring out and things like that. And how do you foresee it helping the learners who are coming tomorrow?
I mean, I always also encourage all the young developers or anybody who's basically just interested in learning blockchain that they are, recently in last year, including the blockchainschool.com, have come up with such an amazing courses and short and easy guides for people to onboard them to the Web3, right? So, I mean, I'm obviously really excited about this the course that we have launched on Tezos on the platform. And I would encourage everybody who is interested in knowing about what is Tezos, how these things work. Basically, just go to the platform, do the course, right? And then we will keep doing this kind of more meetups and more events where you can come up with your knowledge and you can, and other thing that I wanted to mention is what is it, why this space is also very fascinating and yet early is because there are still a lot of job openings, if you would see across the industry, right? So still there is a lot of shortage, a lot of demand for talent, a lot of demand for talent in not only in tech but all kinds of domain, right? But you just need to have some sort of basic understanding of the underlying technology, such as blockchain, or let's say Tezos. Like even in Tezos, we hire in multiple domains across the world, right? All the teams across the world, but you just need basic understanding of it. And I mean, the best thing about this course or any blockchain course is that you don't necessarily, if you are doing, let's say, a Tezos course, it doesn't mean that now you have to do Ethereum course all over again. That's because you just have to understand what blockchain is, and then there are some fundamental things that you can learn about, for example, proof of work, proof of stake, and how these things work, right? And then you can really be aligned with this space and all the projects who are hiring, or you may start your own project, or you may start contributing to a DAO, for example, right? So yeah, I would just say just go into the platform, take the Tezos course, let us know your feedback. You can always DM us on Twitter, Telegram, tag us. Feel free to tell us about your experience, and we will be happy to hear your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, thank you, Purvi. You want to take the stage back? Closing notes.
Thank you. Thank you for being a nice audience, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. Let's never forget marvels of Web 3.0.